Climate change. Is it real or is it a hoax? That's the question many in our society are trying to answer today. Is it actually happening? Is it man-made? Is it too late? The answer to these three questions is yes. It is happening, it is man-made, and it may be too late to reverse the damage already done. The effects are all around us. We have stronger and more frequent natural disasters, such as earthquakes and hurricanes. The sea level has risen nearly 7 inches in the last century. The rate in the last decade is, however, double that of the last century. The primary reason for this rise are the polar ice caps melting. The Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets are declining. From 2002 to 2006, Greenland lost 36 to 60 cubic miles of ice per year. The number of record-high temperature events in the United States has been increasing since 1950, and every year, it seems, it keeps getting hotter. So what is causing this? It's actually quite simple. It's us.
A survey of thousands of scientific papers that took a position on climate change found that 97% endorsed the position that humans are causing global warming.
The main cause of the current global warming trend is the greenhouse effect, the warming that results when the atmosphere traps heat radiating from Earth towards space. A huge component of this is carbon dioxide, a minor but vital part of our atmosphere. This NASA graph reveals the recent yet dramatic spike of carbon dioxide levels in our atmosphere. It is released through natural processes, like humans breathing and volcanoes erupting, but its levels have been rising dramatically since the Industrial Revolution, and that's on us. Deforestation, land use changes, and burning of fossil fuels have increased the atmospheric CO2 concentration by more than a third since the Industrial Revolution began, and it seems to be rising and rising with every year. We release carbon dioxide when we drive in our oil-fueled cars, decimate jungles and forests for resources, inject chemicals into the ground to attain non-renewable energy through fracking, and burn coal to give us energy but pollute our skies. The question that we should be asking ourselves is not if climate change is real, but if we can reverse the damage we have caused before it's too late. There are many obstacles facing our way, however. The most frustrating, it seems, are the politicians and wealthy elite who refuse to accept the scientific data.
By the way, it's supposed to be 70 degrees today. It's freezing. Speaking of global warming, we need some global warming.
I think that there'll be little change here. It'll go up, it'll get a little cooler, it'll get a little warmer like it always has for millions of years. It'll get cooler, it'll get warmer. It's called weather.
But you think that the issue doesn't exist and should be ignored? I'm just trying to understand your position on it.
I think the data is driven by politicians who have always supported more government control. And
in case we have forgotten, because we keep hearing that 2014 has been the warmest year on record, I asked the chair, you know what this is? It's a snowball, and that's just from outside here. So it's very, very cold out, very unseasonal. So here, Mr. President, catch this.
Listen, abnormal weather patterns around the world have been a fact of life. If you look at the history of hurricanes when I was a kid growing up, we had hurricanes in Scarsdale, New York. That was in 1941.
Why do these people who have public influence and political power refuse to believe that climate change is anything but a hoax? We can only speculate. Perhaps it's because Lutz is the former vice chairman of General Motors, an industry that relies on oil to maintain its wealth. Or maybe it's because Ted Cruz has received nearly $1 million towards his campaign from the oil and gas lobby. Or perhaps it's because James Inhofe's main contributors to his campaign are oil and gas companies such as Devon Energy and Murray Energy. And with President Obama, a climate change believer, stepping down from office to give it to Donald Trump, a man who has called climate change a hoax perpetrated by the Chinese, what can we do to help our fragile planet?
We're already more than 1 degree warmer than we were in the pre-industrial period. The Paris Agreement has set targets of about 1.5 or 2 degrees, so we are getting closer and closer to these goals set by the governments, and to realise those goals will mean dramatic cuts in greenhouse gas emissions over the next few decades, and that will be very difficult.
Clean energy is the solution. Although expensive, the investment is well worth it for the benefit of our wildlife, our environment, and for our planet. Solar panels can power cars, houses, and perhaps one day even cities. Wind turbines are safe, clean, and highly efficient. Hydropower is a cost-effective and clever use of our vital resource that doesn't poison our ecosystems like fracking and oil pipelines do. How can we transition to clean energy? We first must elect or re-elect officials who believe in clean energy and climate change, such as Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. We also must engage in civil public discussions to spread awareness of this global issue. We all live on this planet. We all must fight to protect it. We only have one.